noticed that there's a lot of flags here. So how many do you have?
Well, I think every store should have an American flag posted.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. You're talking about every time I have a conversation with somebody that doesn't know G.I. Joe, they're like, "What are you talking about flags for?" They don't realize it's the aircraft gear.
They're not cool.
So no, that's immediately how I know if I'm going to like them or not. So in the store on display, we actually have 17 right now. We have parts to probably build another 2, maybe in the basement. Our goal was the record forever was Kokomo Toys in Kokomo, Indiana had 14 flags at an event. They invited people to come out and set up their flags on tables in the parking lot. This was like 10, 15 years ago. There's a picture of it somewhere on the Facebook groups. And so we set out to beat that. We wanted to be, not only do we want to have more than 14, we wanted to have them on continuous display, not just for an event. So in December of 2018, we, believe it or not, I actually miscounted the number of flags that we had in here. So we were on a desperate search to find the winning flag. And for 2 months, we'd already beaten the record. We just didn't know it because I'd forgotten we had a flag up there under the flag. So, but in December of 2018, we officially got to 15, and then we just added another one and another one. So they're all over the place. They're just kind of, you can't always see them. You know, like these look like display counters, but until you realize that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flags. You know, there's a flag that's right there as part of the display. There's a flag that's over there displayed.
Yep,
that's a Transformers flag. That's a Transformers flag.
Window, there's some in the farm.
I can't keep up with panning, so I'm going to stop panning.
Fun fact, though, I've never built a flag. My son, he's 16, he's built all of our flags here.
Good
and
man.
Anytime a customer, we have a tiered, like if someone wants to buy a flag, but they're sort of on a budget, they'll say, I got $500 to spend. I'll tell him, build me a $500 flag. He's built so many, which at this point is like 44 or 45 flags. Which may be a record on its own. I don't know that any one teenager in 2021 could build a flag from memory. He doesn't need the. We've both got this weird thing where we've memorized the figures part of Yojo. He's memorized the vehicles part, and so I do a lot of figure stuff. He does the vehicle stuff, and we'll show you the vehicle build in the basement we've got going right now.
Okay, all right.
But yes, that is our claim to fame, and I intend to be buried with all of them. Yeah, we love them. We love the parts. It's like this. Can you imagine in 1985 they were marketing this 7.5-foot long, super fragile toy to 8-year-olds?
I'm surprised this many of them were purchased.
We've got a Defiant upstairs. I don't know if you ever played with a Defiant or not.
No.
And we're talking about this massive complex, and they got this crane. It's like. That was designed for 8 to 10-year-old kids. Like now, I mean, when my kids were 8 to 10, I didn't trust them with Play-Doh, because they would eat it. But back then, people were like, "Hey, kid, you want this giant expensive toy? Hey, kid, you want to?" Well, like the Red Ryder BB gun, but I don't know. It was just so weird how the 80s was different.
Well, and then you were assumed that you could actually put it together.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you can do it now in your sleep, but I don't know if, like, my dad could have done it back then.
I've seen so many misbuilt vehicles. Like, there was a Arctic Blast that I built earlier that the wheels were inside out.
Oh, weird.
Built backwards.
Well, I had one buddy in high school that I knew had a flag, and his dad is still friends of mine. Him and his dad are there local, and dad comes in here. We're Elks Lodge members together, and he comes in and talks about. He looks at these because he was in the Navy, so he comes in, and looks at them, and he goes, "On Christmas Eve in 1985, I stayed up all night long putting that thing together and putting the stickers on."
Yes.
That's the very shortened version of it, but it took him, he said, 10 hours to build.
Good
stickers
Lord.
Yeah. That is the other thing that people forget. You have to put the stickers on. It didn't come with stickers on it already.
Anything.
No.
None of the Joe stuff came
none
with
of the
stickers
Joe
on.
No.
What was wrong with our parents that they were like, yeah, we'll put stickers on this thing?
What was wrong with the toy manufacturers? I thought, that's a great idea.
Why don't we just paint it on? It would have been so much simpler. But yeah, every one of the Joe toys had to have stickers applied.
Now, here's another question. Do you have a box that a flag came in?
I've had multiple boxes with flags that came. I don't right now. I've had the shipper sleeves that flags came in. I've had sealed flags. I've had sealed contents flags. The problem with stores is finding a place for them, like storing the boxes where they don't get damaged. But we actually have had the privilege twice of giving away complete flags with boxes to friends of mine as Christmas presents.
Oh,
nice.
That was pretty cool that we were able to do that. So.
I helped with that.
That's an amazing gift.
We have given away, we gave one to Josh, we gave one to Paul. Jason Kurtzinger's son, he got one as a gift. He came to a toy show and we gave him a flag.
Nice.
So
That's like an event.
Yeah.
We have toy shows here every 3 months, like little meetups, gatherings where people get together and if somebody comes, like a lot of the guys have kids that love this stuff. So
Yeah.
So you have them here in the store?
It's really cool.
Interesting. When's your next one?
the last weekend in January.
Last weekend in January.
We call it a family picnic with toys because everybody knows each other and we just kind of hang out and order pizza and swap toys.
Oh,
and
that'd be
play
so
video games.
fun.
That's awesome.
It's
Can
the
we
most
come?
informal thing. Yeah, anybody can look, and we don't charge anything for people to set up. We don't charge anything
Awesome.
to come. So.
Awesome.
I just want to come and buy stuff.
There are tons of people that come in with stuff for sale and everything. And people drive here from Canada for these meetups.
Wow.
So at these 3-month events, is that kind of like when like the bragging rights come out? You know, is that when people come in and they show off their best stuff?
It depends. We have a really loyal customer base that comes to these. Like there's guys that come to every one of them. So as opposed to guys showing up and yardstick measuring, it's more like, oh my God, it's been 3 months since it really is more like a family reunion than anything else.
That's awesome.
But there'll be a guy like one of my buddies who's up in Topeka. He works at a toy store up there called Jayhawks Collectibles, and he always brings in like these amazing. He's got a Vader 11 back unpunched graded. It's like a 90 grade. He brings that every time, and nobody's gonna buy it because it's like $12,000. But he sets it on his table, just to sit next to him as he's got his table and stuff. So,
Why not?
in a sense, it's kind of like that, but you'd have to bring a lot of stuff to be able to outbrag us here. So
Yeah.
So brought a Satan figure, didn't he?
yeah, there was a guy.
Wow, really?
There was a guy who was he wrote a book on foreign jokes, and so he brought his massive foreign collections, probably 40 select figures that are super valuable, that are super rare foreign figures, and he had a case for them. He had his book out that he had, and he's written a book on them.
Wow, that's amazing.
I can't remember his name. He's from Arkansas.
So there was a guy on eBay, I'd say probably 5 years ago. I just kind of stumbled upon him. I was looking up vintage Star Wars figures on there to see how much are they going for on eBay. His name was Early Retirement Fund. And the story that he wrote was that his mom had passed away, but his mom worked at a place called Venture. Does everybody remember
I remember.
Venture?
Yeah.
Well, I used to live by Chicago, so a lot of our toys came from
Well,
there.
we had one in Springfield, Missouri.
I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah, it went out of business a long time ago. Then it was a Kmart, and then now it's nothing. But his mom had purchased the original run of Star Wars action figures when they first came out. She bought, because she worked at Venture, she bought a box of them, a case.
Oh my God.
And she was going to give them to him, but she did not. I don't know what circumstances are for that. Well, she passed away, and this was like 4 or 5 years ago, and he finds this box up in a closet marked from Venture, and it's got Star Wars stuff on it. And you know that the Star Wars shipping crates, even those sell for a lot of money. So he opens it up, and inside it was just full of toys never touched by
Good
time.
Lord.
Unpunched, perfect condition, and that's what his early retirement fund was. He put them all up on eBay, and he was actually planning on just retiring. And he made probably $100,000 on those.
The vintage toy market, especially the Star Wars community, because it's so long-standing, is deep with money, and people are willing to spend it on
Yes,
stuff.
absolutely.
I saw a story in a group right when I first started doing toys, so probably 2017, and and there was a guy, and he showed a picture of a bed, and he had stacks of the $10,000 bill stacks where they've got hundreds in them, and he had like 5 stacks, and he said, "Here's $50,000." He said a couple of years ago, he's a software engineer. He said there was a rocket firing Boba Fett that someone had. He offered it to me for $25,000. You're showing off CAD Bang?
Yeah.
$25,000, but I was like, that's too much to spend for a toy. And I kicked myself ever since. Here's $50,000. I'm buying anybody's got one. I'm willing to buy. And he said every week that I don't get it bought, I'm adding another $1,000 to this stack. If you connect me with a guy, but just do a referral to me, I'll pay you $5,000 for the referral. And I remember thinking, like, I was still just a collector. I wasn't selling toys, and I was like, Okay, yeah, that's what I want to be. I want to be. If there's a
Yeah.
guy with a stack of money on a bed, that's what I want to be, getting a stack of money.
Right.
You know?
I want to find what he wants and get
So,
that money. Yeah.
I've never found a rocket fighting book before.
Yeah,
just in case.
they're unicorns. I mean,
Hey Dave, do you want to tell Rob what I compared the toy game to earlier?
the what?
I compared it to like being a drug dealer.
Oh,
yeah,
you call me
yeah,
a plastic
yeah.
crack dealer all the time.
Yep. So he knows.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah,
time.
we were talking about that, and it's like that's kind of dark, but it's accurate. Because vintage toy collectors were ravenous people.
Yeah.
The one, you know, there's a ranking. Have you ever seen the ranking system of collectors to deal with, from worst to first?
No.
No.
Top of the food chain, as far as evil, are Hot Wheels collectors. So they're just, I don't know what it is. Like, for whatever reason, the Hot Wheels community, like, it's like they're carrying around ice picks or something.
What way? I mean, are they like they'll screw you over?
They will go to a garage sale and find a little old lady who's, you know, a church garage sale, and they'll find a $5,000 car, and a bag of cars are like $5 for these 200 cars, and like, would you take $2 for it? Like, that's my experience. With Hot Wheels collectors. Or like, we have some Hot Wheels cars in here that are worth a little bit of money, and like I've seen Hot Wheels collectors at stores switching cars out in packages and stuff like. I mean, just,
Jesus.
have you been to the Hot Wheels groups? They're very, very cutthroat, and I don't understand why.
They're
So-
little metal cars.
Well, and maybe it's because they're the only toys that are really can double as weapons, unless they're
Maybe.
LGMs.
Maybe.
You
Yeah.
could load up like a potato gun with Hot Wheels cars and attack a city with them. So,
Well, so note: avoid Hot Wheels collectors.
disclaimer: we'll be happy to sell Hot Wheels to anybody that's reasonable that wants to buy them.
So I do have one more follow-up question, amongst the many more questions that I'm going to ask here later. What is the rarest thing you have in this store right now?
right now or ever.
Both.
Well, we have some custom work that's one of a kind. I don't know if that makes a difference as far as rare. If you're talking about rare, like people are coming after it rare,
Yes. Coming after a rare.
I've got a Brave Star in 3030 inbox here that I just picked up yesterday. So,
Can we see it?
that I'm super excited about. My son's customs. Those are super
Oh,
rare.
nice.
Wow, those are really nice.
There's only one of them.
Hey, bring that a little closer to the camera here.
This is the first one I did. I'm not exactly planning on selling this one because it's the first one I made, but
Oh, that's so cool,
yeah,
man.
I've sold my
really
other
cool.
ones though.
I've got
Nice.
a 86
I have a
Viper
couple
graded
vehicles as well.
on card,
Nice.
which is a pretty
Hey,
rare
well,
piece of
hey,
equipment.
tell everyone what your name is.
Box
My name's
is not
Roman.
great, but
Unfortunately,
finding a
his son.
Stridor and Brave
And
Star,
tell what
the
you got
combo
there
box.
again.
This
Here's-
is the custom that I made.
Gary, here it is.
Excellent. What do you got?
This is one of the hardest things to find right here. Is
Okay.
Is a 3030 box that we've got right now.
Now, sorry, Rob, tell us what this is again.
This is a Mattel-made Stridor. I'm sorry, I keep saying Stridor because that's the horse from He-Man. 3030 box from Brave Star. So we've got the 3030 and the Brave Star in there. They're really, really hard to find, and the boxes are even harder to find.